Hey guys, I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that Surewinder is still selling amazing products. Some of you guys have been dragging your feet for whatever reason. If your shoulder hurts, do not waste time. Pull the trigger. I just bought 4 or 5 of them, and we had 2 guys out. You know how much it cost me to pay for 2 guys being out with bad shoulders? We just pulled the trigger and we said, listen, everybody's going to have one on a truck. It's mandatory. You got to use it. Don't hesitate. Don't wait till your guys go down. It's going to cost you more. Buy a Surewinder.
What's up, guys? Ryan here, Torsion Talk Podcast, and today is going to be a good one. I'm solo today, and I've got some announcements that I want to go over with you real quick. Number one, I'm closing out registration for the December Sales Training, 7th and 8th. That will be closed out this week. So if you are trying to squeeze into that class, make sure you sign up as soon as possible. I have added some dates for 2024. If you want to sign up for those, you can now. They're available. We have been selling about 15 to 17 the last few classes. So I think we're going to cap it at 16 going forward. It's just a good number. And 17 feels too much. 15 feels like it could be one more. So I went with 16. Whatever. Opening GDU Summit registration this week. It's been open for our GDU members. But if you're interested in going to Summit, this is going to be incredible. Let me tell you a little bit about it. Day one, we're bringing in Steve Smith. He's an incredible speaker. He is great at just stretching your thinking, and he knows everyone. He's a great contact to have. We're going to have the ability for you to hang out with him, ask him questions. It's just not a keynote, which is what I'm most excited about. He's actually going to hang out with us during the event, make himself available. We've got opportunities for you to eat breakfast with him, do bourbon at the bar with him, like little things like that. So if that's something you're interested in, hit me up. We have day 2. We are going on a field trip. We're actually going to go tour Zappos with the head of culture. The guy was actually early stage. He was like working the coffee machine in the bar area. He worked his way all the way up in the company to now he's head of culture. I did this culture tour a long time ago, probably like 15 years ago, maybe 12, when Tony Hesh was there. And I can honestly tell you that that was one of the best business experiences of my life. If you go through this, you're going to know that it shaped a lot of the conversations that we have on here. It shapes a lot of what we do with Air and Overhead Doors and such media. And this tour and being able to hear how they do things will challenge you in every single way. So Rio, he's going to be giving the tour, and then we're going to eat lunch there, and he's going to do a keynote. So it's going to be incredible. We have some awesome entertainment lined up. We're going to the Strat for dinner on the 21st, I believe. And the 22nd, we're going to be playing with heavy machinery. So we are going to a place, I think they call it the Dump. Anyway, the Dig, something like that. And you get to get in big rating machines and do little competitions, moving dirt around, whatever. Thought that would be kind of fun. So we're going to have some great food. We're going to have a great time, but ultimately we're going to stretch you. It's going to be focused on leadership, culture, and there's no better place to learn about culture than Zappos. I feel like this is going to be a game changer for you guys. So if you're interested, let me know, or sign up at garagedooru.com/summit this week. All right. We had our first webinar, Hacks for Marketing in a Down Economy. I think we had a good showing for our first one. I was told that we had as many as 17 at one time. For it being our first one, I'm pretty happy with that. My goal is to give out more free information in a webinar type format where I'm actually teaching the content. We'll have our next webinar on how to set up and manage a pipeline. What I was shocked to find out is that a lot of people in the garage door industry don't have a pipeline, like a sales pipeline report, or manage the pipeline. So these are great ways for you guys to do that. And I'm telling you, this is going to change your business forever. It's probably one of the biggest impacts you can make. It'll help you with follow-up. It'll help you with projections. If you don't know what you're projecting to sell in December, January, and February, then you're going to need to be in this webinar. I'm going to show you how to do that. Steel industry news is something you're going to need to consider. I'm about to read you an email I just got. It's not great, but hold tight. Let me get through it. So I'm going to circle back to that. I have some crazy announcements coming up in the next few weeks, as well as a huge announcement in April on Expo. And now we're going to get to this email from Brian Buckaloo, who's been on the show before. He wrote me this email today, actually like an hour ago. In the last few weeks, as the market has changed, I have been asked by buyers, why are my prices rising? For the person looking on the outside looking in, this is a legitimate question. In the eyes of many, demand is just okay. Some buyers may say the big bad mills are controlling the prices by cutting back capacity. Well, it is unfortunate for buyers that over 70% of the domestic capacity is being filled by 4 mills. Here is what we are looking at with regard to the steel market. I will try to be as brief so this email is easily consumable. I have listed the reasons below as to why prices are rising. If I can do anything else, please let me know. All right, he's got a list of 6 things here. I'm just going to read them to you, so bear with me. I'm probably not the best at reading like out loud, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Number 1, no spot market tons. And I assume what he means by that, like a spot market is like you can buy it on the spot, meaning they have it in stock. You can pay like the current market rate for it. It sounds like they're taking that away. So no spot market. Then he goes on to say, when the mills have spot market tons available, that typically means lower pricing as the mills want to move these tons. With that being said, no spot tons means no lower pricing. That was number 1. Number 2, longer mill lead times. Many of the mills are out into late January and early February. Some of these has to do with the maintenance outages that have taken place over the last 45 days. However, the automotive strike has been settled. So now the tons are being placed, which are resulting in longer lead times. So they're basically saying here that they were already having longer lead times due to some maintenance and outages, which these mills will do maintenance and they'll shut down for this. And they kind of use that as an excuse to like raise prices and to help justify demand for some reason. I'm not really sure, but that seems to be like a theme. And they all kind of shut down at the same time, if I understand it correctly. I could be wrong on that. So anyway, they've had some maintenance outages and have taken place for the last 45 days. And then on top of that, and that's pushed them out January, February, on top of that, the automotive strike has been settled. So now tons are being placed, which are resulting in longer lead times. I don't know if, and maybe he explains it here shortly, that the tons come off the spot market because they're being placed or allocated towards the automotive. I'm not sure. Number 3, lean inventory. Service centers are keeping lean inventory, which means when they run out, there is less steel in the market. Once inventory is gone, then it is gone. This means buyers have less to work with as it pertains to sourcing steel. Supply and demand, right? I think that's just a lead on from number 2. But number 4, changes in the mill landscape. U.S. Steel is for sale, and they are running their business as if they are for sale. They are laying people off, and they are late with orders of finished goods and semi-finished goods for the smaller mills that coat their substrate. In addition to the longer lead times, the mills are all running 3 to 5 weeks late with deliveries. This, along with the lean inventories, just exasperates the problem. So essentially, it sounds like private equity money is going into the steel market, and all the steel companies are basically saying, hey, look, we're for sale. We're going to run lean. We're going to work on our bottom line, and we're going to get out of this mess. We're going to make as much money as humanly possible on our net profits so that we can sell this company and move on. I don't know, long term, it's probably not a great outlook, especially for the 4 companies that own 70% of the market, but we shall see.
Somer USA and Somer Group want to thank you for an incredible year and the trust you put in them and their products. As you know, Somer places high value on relationships, education, customer service, innovation, and professionalism. And they are grateful to you for your part in the fostering and dissemination of these values. If there is any way Somer can support you in your journey, whether through their products, the values they hold to, or the knowledge Somer has gained through interaction with door dealers across the world, please reach out to the team at your convenience. They are here to serve you. Again, thank you from the entire Somer team. Check them out at somerusa.com. Tell them Ryan sent you.
Number 5, lack of offshore material. Currently, there is not much material coming in overseas. The domestic mills have no competition. I do believe this will change in Q2. However, as I expect to see imports coming in, the bottom line is the price difference between steel and in the U.S. and overseas is tempting enough for traders to make a quick buck in Q2. Demand is better than we think. This is number 6. I have been saying this for the last 12 to 18 months. The demand is good. It is just not what we saw during COVID in 2021. Of course, right? I mean, we're all kind of seeing the vacuum effect of that. Basically just goes on to say that if I have any questions, reach out to him for any help. So that's it. Brian from Majestic Steel, he keeps me in the loop on things and helps me understand some of the trends. And obviously I try to share those with you guys here. On a lighter note, and probably what you're here for, is I'm going to share a little bit about air and overhead doors. What are we doing? Some of the things that we're talking about internally. And I think I mentioned this earlier, but I'm just going to dive into it a little bit. Number 1, I'm not taking any more calls or meetings with private equity firms. I decided it's too much of a distraction. I know I've encouraged you guys to reach out or take the calls and meet with them. But here's the thing that I think we have to understand, and this is a learning lesson for all of us. You guys can learn from my mistake. Number 1, we get distracted as business owners. And if we get in that mindset that, hey, we're going to sell the company, we have a tendency to struggle and we lose our way a little bit. I think we lose some focus on the blocking and tackling and doing things the right way. Instead, we focus our attention on getting the company ready to sell. And, unfortunately, it's a little bit difficult at times to not check out a little bit going through that process. So with that said, we're just going to stop taking the calls. I mean, we just get hit up way too much, and it was taking up 3 to 5 meetings a week. And so we're just not going to talk to any more private equity firms for the time being. Now, for you, you can do whatever you want, but hopefully if you aren't ready to sell, I would strongly recommend not allowing that distraction into your life right now. we're focused on blocking and tackling with my leadership for air and overhead doors and such and such. So we have blocked a few days off, and we got 2 days for Aaron and 2 days for such and such. And the like what we're gonna do is just get in, like we're going off grounds, right? Like we rented a conference room for such and such, and I did an Airbnb for Josh and I, where we just stay there for 2 days and hammer all this out. We get big sticky notes and markers, and we really like dive in and try to plan for the next year. So we evaluate staff, hey, do we have staff on board that, like, each and every staff member we go through, are they willing, are they capable, and do they have the capacity to do the job? And then we want to make sure that these people are like bought into our vision. So we're going to go through everybody, and we're going to figure out, like, from our opinion, who is and who isn't. And that's a good thing. And quite honestly, we do it to ourselves too. So it's not just like us looking at the staff. We're literally evaluating ourselves as leaders also during that process. We go over the previous year, or current year in this case. So we look at 2023 and we think about the things we did well, think about the things we did bad, and that we need to improve on. So those are some of the things that we do. We find opportunities for growth. So we look at our where do we see the most growth for this year? How are we going to adjust and approach 2024? What's our strategy going to be? What's our messaging going to be? Does our image project what we're trying to accomplish on our website and our language, brand, everything? What are we going to cut? So I challenge myself, all the time to cutting things. And I think it's a regular practice that we should all look at, is trying to do either quarterly or every 6 months, just go through all of your statements, credit card, bank statements, everything, and like, what can you cut out of there? And just make sure that you're doing it right and that you don't have any unnecessary spending. We reevaluate our core values, making sure that our core values define who we are, and we're doing a good job of like making them important to our staff and genuinely living out our core values, because without that, it's really unnecessary. You don't even need them. We reevaluate our vision statement, which like, I'll just be straight here. Like, we have one for such and such, but I don't really think we have one for Aaron. We have like a customer statement, but we don't really have like a vision statement. So we're going to work on that. We discuss hiring, like what roles are going to need to be hired for. What do we need to do with hiring? What kind of people are we looking for? We work on SOPs. Last year, we identified the fact that we could run residential and commercial through the same process, almost identical, for equipment sales and then for service. And that's worked out pretty well for us. And we're built for scale now. And I feel very confident that with the roles broken out the way they are, that we should do very well. We just got to generate more revenue. So SOPs, we'll reevaluate them. We'll make sure that we're doing them right. And then we book things on the calendar for the year. So it's going to be heavy training. Like, we need to be training on our SOPs probably monthly for each department. And even if it's like a 15-minute deal, and just drill down into like one SOP at a time and just do things weekly. Every week we have a training on SOPs. I think that's going to be great. I think every quarter we have a theme. We're reading. What are we reading? Oh, Friction. We're reading Friction. Is talking about rocks. One of the projects we're gonna build out projects for going into 2024 and through 2024. One of those is going to be like, how are we going to measure our staff? Like, how are we going to get results-driven metrics that we can say, hey, this person's crushing their metrics, these people are not, et cetera, et cetera. So I think this is a big deal. I think it's helped us over the years be more successful and have better results and kind of be on the same page. Where we failed in the past on this is we do this meeting, we go into Q1 and we're like gung-ho, we're super excited, we got everybody bought in, and then Q2, we're not even talking about it anymore. Q3, it's a distant memory. Q4, things are going sideways and we're like, wait a minute, what is happening right now? Why aren't we performing at our peak? Well, it's because we lost focus as leadership and we didn't hold true to our plan, right? Like we started on track, but then we just kind of lost it. So that's why we're going to be really diligent about getting everything on the calendar and making sure that it's there, it's blocked off, and everybody's on it. So we don't have to worry about any issues there. So I hope this podcast was helpful to you. I hope you get something out of it. I hope you guys get a chance to break away and do this training. If you guys ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. You can find me on Facebook, Ryan Lucia. Thank you for your time. I wish you a blessed December and finish to November.